Alright, so this video is basically going to be me giving my thoughts and my reviews of the festival and the bands and stuff like that. So I just want to point out that this was like the first festival that I've ever been to in terms of camping. It's my first time at Download, and what I will say is that it was an incredible experience. The whole festival, minus a couple of things, the whole festival was just curated to perfection. Easy drive down, no traffic, no nothing. It was easy to get in. I don't think there was one queue. I think the biggest thing was probably the logistics of getting from the car park to the camp. We didn't take too much, but enough to make us realise that we probably should have brought some sort of trolley or something. Loads of people had trolleys, and here's us like carrying it like. We even walked past like a barrow for hire. Looks like you need a wheelbarrow there. And I was like, nah man, we got this. Within about 5 minutes, I was passed out on the grass. Gives a second. But we did it, and that's the main thing. Wristbands, all that good stuff. Show your ticket on your phone, on your wallet, and boom, you're off. Bag checks, fine, not too vigorous. It was really just the finding a place to camp. Once we got to the camp, probably took us about 5 minutes, I reckon. We found a spot. It was lovely. We got there on the Wednesday afternoon as well, so you know people were still coming like on the Thursdays and Fridays. So we had a good we had good choice. But you could see the camp from the car park and the car park from the camp, and it was just really frustrating to think that you could literally just walk straight ahead and you'll be there. But it is what it is, man. I went with a one-man tent. I'm 6'4". A lot of Euro hikes. I think I was the only one in that campsite that had a Litchfield. Do they still make Litchfields anymore? Quiet camp was lovely. Exactly what you need. I'm 34. I need me beauty peepees. I heard stories from the other camps, and let's just say I'm glad I wasn't there. Another thing I was worried about was the weather. Going forward, I'd heard like horror stories about, download and stuff like that. And man, we had just beautiful weather the whole time. You can see in my face, man. Like, it was beautiful. It really was. And I'm so glad that we packed sun cream, because we were burnt. We didn't take too much alcohol or anything like that. Like, it was only me and Arron that really drank. So we bought 2 bottles, and that lasted us the 5 days. We just had a hip flask, and we just sort of pour it into drinks and stuff like that. It was nice, we didn't get drunk. We just had a good buzz on. The vibes and the atmosphere was enough anyway, and with the weather, it was just like you were on holiday, man. It was beautiful. We got there on the Wednesday afternoon, and we just chilled. We went into the village on the evening, and it's fair to say I was absolutely overwhelmed. I couldn't really focus. I've never seen anything like that before. There was like fairground rides, vendors everywhere. There's loads of stuff going on. I've never seen so many goths in one place since I used to hang at the Hippie Green in Newcastle. It was quite overwhelming to start off with. But the next day I sort of got used to it, I think it's just important to sort of, you pay attention to how you're feeling. I couldn't say much. I was just a bit like, whew. But I soon got used to that. Great vendors as well. Everyone that was working at the vendors, food, clothes, anything like that, it was so lovely, so chatty. And, they didn't sort of see you as consumers or customers. They just saw you as like people, which I thought was really lovely. We had some great chats. Everyone asking, who you're here to see. And then like, if you said this is your first time at Download, they were giving me advice, stuff like that. There was one guy at the stainless steel, I'll put it there, Stay Stainless. He was saying like, oh, you want to check like the prices on things like when you come to pay on your card, because like some people will like boost it up and stuff like that, which I really appreciated, especially being sort of you're in Download, you're not thinking about money that you're spending really, because you've sort of budgeted, but like you're like, hey, I might just get that. And also you're getting a lot of water, because in this weather water was just a necessity. Not like it's not anyway. Big up Drip. Water in a can, my first time. I think it took over from Liquid Death. Banging. Love the can. It looked like you were drinking beers, but you weren't. You were drinking water, and I thought that was quite cool. So, yeah. Yeah, we just sort of just chilled. There was no pressure. No, no urgency to get anywhere. It was nice and chill. And to be honest, that kept throughout. Got some food, and then we went back to the camp, and we realised that the airbed pump we had didn't work, so we slept on the floor. Moving on to the morning, me and Arron went for a little mooch about. We even saw this band called Matted. Saw like one song at the end. They were banging. They were really, really good. First taste of live music. Delicious. We found a place that done sausage and bacon babs, and we had that absolutely every single morning. Nice coffee as well. Shout out Canny Coffee. And again, Thursday was just sort of, mulling about, chilling. But we had Venga Boys on the night time. Now, I'm not a fan of Venga Boys, but what I can say is that I'm still not a fan of Venga Boys. They had 3 songs, man, and the 3 songs they had I knew, and then the rest they played We Will Rock You, Living on a Prayer, and something else, and I was just a bit like, why? Well, why? I think one of my main things for this festival was not to get carried away and just start getting drunk and going wild, because I really wanted to remember every single memory, and we had so many core memories, great conversations. We feel like our group sort of came together a lot, and just sort of built a bond, which was really beautiful. Right, okay. Friday, the festival, the arena opened. That was phenomenal. I've never seen anything like it. I was blown away. Getting in was fine, We walked in and CKY were playing. Not too bothered. First band paid attention to was Boston Manor. They were good, they were good. They're nothing to sort of shout about. Sun was shining. We sat there, drinking with tangos and water and stuff like that. And it was decent, man. It was decent. I was blown away by Rise Against, and I wasn't bothered about seeing them either. The thing I will say about Rise Against is I seem to recognise a lot of the songs. There's a song called Give It All. And I think that was in Need for Speed Underground. I think that's what I remember it from. A bit gutted that they didn't play Swing Life Away, but I can imagine it was a quick set. They're not really going to be pulling out the acoustic and stuff like that for it. So his voice was fantastic. I thought the guitarist was unreal. The songs, they were tight, they were energetic, just spot on. I was more so looking forward to Jimmy Eat World, and I have to say I was a little bit let down. He seemed a little bit lackluster. Songs didn't hit the way that I thought they would. They played Sweetness, and that's when I thought I'd get into it. They started off with a song that, not a lot of generic Jimmy Eat World fans would know. I would have thought if they stopped with Sweetness, it would have just built it up. But hey, I ain't in Jimmy Eat World, so what am I to say? Didn't play Hear You Me either, and I thought that could have really just got the crowd in. Just a little bit of emotion, just took at the little heartstrings. Weezer was sick. Just like, there's something about Weezer, man. They're unique. They've been going for ages, and just this real feel-good sort of vibe about Weezer. They didn't have loads of energy, but the energy came from the music and just the way that they played. It was just professionally done when they played Say It In. So that was just beautiful. Really enjoyed that. Buddy Holly when the after that, me and Jasmine went to the Avalanche tent to see McFly. I've never heard McFly swear in my life. One thing that did stand out was the fact that Jasmine was waiting so long for them to play Five Colours in Her Hair. And with friend Michael, who turned up, he stopped a mother who was with us, and he was like, "Have they played Five Colours in Her Hair yet?" She was like, no, I don't think so. That we didn't get to see all of McFly, and you couldn't get into the tent, but it was nice. For me, out of the festival, it was about the atmosphere. The atmosphere made the music. You saw people singing. to your left and to your right. So people just getting amongst it, and it encouraged you to get amongst it as well. And I thought that was great. You didn't have to see the bands on the stage. We flew back over to the arena and we saw Green Day. Completely honest, right? I'll be completely honest. I wasn't too bothered about seeing Green Day. What a silly man I was. My Lord, it was just non-stop from start to finish. I didn't know a lot of the songs, but then like the chorus would come in and I'd know them. Obviously, I knew American Idiot. My friend Erin's a massive Green Day fan, and she loved it. I loved it, especially when they played When I Come Around and Basket Case. When I Come Around was like one of the first songs I learned on guitar, like power chords wise. Total Guitar, shout out Total Guitar. You've probably seen videos, right? No word of a lie. The minute he said, "Here comes the rain again," started raining. Not like downpour, but it started raining. I lost it. I was like, we all cried. We were all huddled up. It was just beautiful. It was a core memory of mine. I will never forget that. I will never forget that moment. Amazing what music can do. Whether, that was coincidence or whether it was something. If it wasn't emotional enough, I went to see Funeral for a Friend acoustic. My core memories of music and being in bands were listening to Funeral for a Friend, Taking Back Sunday, Under Oath, Say Sin. But it was a massive, massive trip down memory lane. It was about 12:30 and it wasn't packed, but you couldn't get to the front. The acoustic renditions, man, they were stunning. The song that stood out to me was Drive. I never used to like it on the Hours album, but I love this one for some reason. And History as well. That made me cry. I was sobbing. I just felt this tap on my shoulder, thinking there was going to be someone, one of my friends giving us a hug, and it was my mate Michael. Good these on there. Like a phenomenal experience, and again, one I'll never forget. Then we got some food when we went home. Moving on to Saturday. Saturday was interesting. Jasmine had told me that there was a rumour going around that Trivium were going to be playing a secret set at 11 o'clock. I got up early. My friends got up early. And we went to the Opus stage. So many people were there. People with Trivium t-shirts, all sorts. Me and Arron had camping chairs. We went and sat down. Perfect view. Announcement came over. The next band will be Sophie Lloyd on at 12:05. No, oh sorry, there's been a mistake. Sorry divvies, you turned up, you fell for it, bye-bye. And people were annoyed, including myself. I was not in a good mood at all. Coming up next was Lestel. Now Lestel I've followed on TikTok for a while, and they're incredible. They give me Under Oath vibes, man. They give me this energy that comes from back in the mid-2000s. They played the Dogtooth stage. They were phenomenal. The energy came from the passion that they had when they performed. And I even sent them a message and they replied as well. So big up Lestel for that. Thank you very much. Got us spaces with the camping chairs on the main stage. Not on the main stage. That would have been silly, wouldn't it? And we watched Loathe. Now, I didn't realise that I sort of knew that band until I got back. But Loathe were incredible. I tell you what. Lead singer Loathe, beautiful man, and also the coolest dance moves I've seen in a metalcore sort of band. I was watching Hatebreed. I've heard loads about Hatebreed, back in the day, they've been going for a while, and back in the day, you'd see people around the hippie green with Hatebreed hoodies on and t-shirts and stuff like that. Was never really a fan. One thing I will say about the bands and bands that play festivals are the ones that acknowledge the crowd, the ones that take time to talk to the crowd. I think it's so important to show your personality, and being a band called Hatebreed, you can imagine what you think they would be like. Nothing like that at all. You give an inspiring speech on how you guys, different generations are the future music, and go out and start bands because it's an amazing feeling. And I really resonated with that, man. It's something that I personally do believe in, that starting a band, being in with your friends and stuff like that, there's no better feeling just sharing a journey as you go in. So I really appreciated Hatebreed for that, and I certainly wasn't expecting it. I turned to Arron as we were watching them, and I was like, hey, he kind of looks like Adam Leeson. Adam Leeson being my friend from the morning coffee. And Arron goes, yeah, you're right. Kind of does. We go to the Opus stage. Now, I was dying to see Polaris, and it was packed. It really, really was. Anyway, we got like a nice little spot. We sat with camping chairs down, and we just waited for Polaris. Now, Jasmine and Arron were like, "Oh, we're just popping off to get a drink or something." And Arron starts talking to me. And we're getting a deep conversation. As I say, we had a lot of deep conversations within our group, and it was beautiful. It really, really was. Polaris start, and we're having a chat and stuff like that. And then I feel these arms around me. Like I'm in download mode. I'm just like that, thinking it's like one of my mates, or like it's just some random. I don't know why. Like I just embraced it. I turn around. Who do I see? Adam Leeson. Mr. Adam Leeson from the Morning Coffee. They had all conspired. They'd all been chatting and stuff like that, and Adam had got tickets for the Saturday, and he was surprising me. Or he was there to see a Sleep Token. Either way, kill two birds with one stone, man. I don't care. Amazing memory. I will never forget that. Just not obviously, the moment was beautiful, but just how someone cares enough to sort of make that a memory and a moment. And I mean, tickets weren't cheap, man. Tickets. Adam, Arron, the Morning Coffee lot, Arron, all that. They all knew, and not one of them cracked. So, first of all, fair play. Second of all, cheeky, sneaky. Love yous. That made my day. It really did. It was an amazing, amazing time. I didn't really even pay attention to the bands after that, I'll be honest. Me and Adam, again, had some lovely conversations. Arron, Adam, Jasmine, Adam. Jack as well. Shout out Jack who drove him. Jack was lovely. I did see Don Broco, which I was very excited to see. I think their songs are fantastic. They're not intricate, they're not complicated, they're just having a good time, they're having fun, and you can see that is the reason why they get booked for festivals. And it really was just so fun to just watch them on the Saturday afternoon / evening and just see them absolutely smash it. After Don Broco, who did we see? Saw The Darkness. Not a fan of The Darkness. I've never really liked Justin Hawkins. Seeing him live and his crap patter, just, to be honest, I couldn't get behind it. I'm not really bothered if it was like a put on or a act or whatever. It's just I didn't believe in it. Certain things he was saying, I was just like, just play the songs, you know what I mean? Like, I know I was talking about Hatebreed and talking about speeches and stuff like that. Like, Don Broco gave one as well. You know, they mentioned the song about Uber. They spoke with such vulnerability and just being authentic. It really did. It was so easy to just sort of vibe with them. I hate using that word, but it was so easy to vibe with them. And with The Darkness, there was just this sense of arrogance. I don't know, the sense of arrogance, bitterness. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't get behind it, and a lot of my friends couldn't either. And I was a bit good because I was really excited to see The Darkness. That was the last band that was saw before Sleep Token. I'm going to hold my hands up, okay? I didn't enjoy it. I tried to. I really, really did try to. To it, man, there was just something about it. They didn't seem to speak to the crowd. I know that's not really their thing, but I think you either like it or you don't. I can appreciate the songs. I can appreciate the voice. I understand, but I don't understand at the same time. A lot of people were leaving, and I think a lot of people were in the same mindset of, you know what? I'm going to give him a chance and let's see what's going on. There was a guy that got up with his wife and they got up. They sat there for the first song and he went, I've had enough. And I was like, you know what, fair dues, man, fair dues. And we stayed for a while, but we just weren't vibing, man. I think it was just is what it is. When it comes to Sleep Token, I was a fan. You know, I was a fan of the music. I'm not a fan of the, you know, the everything else that goes with it, the culture, if you will. I think they've got some good songs. I think they've got some bad songs. I think he's a phenomenal vocalist. The hardcore fans were at the front. They were loving it. Every single person I've seen defend Sleep Token has been on social media and stuff like that. And the people I was speaking to outside of Sleep Token, even big fans, said that it was a little bit underwhelming. You make of that what you will. You might have went to Sleep Token, had the best night of your life. Or you might have went to Sleep Token and been like, oh, I'm good, man. I really expected more. I think there's other bands that could have done it better. It's my first time at Download, but I think after seeing Green Day, the way they had the crowd in the palm of the hand, the way that they were communicating with the crowd, the experience they have, the songs they have, the repertoire spanned across generations. I don't think Sleep Token have that. I've watched the videos on TikTok and stuff like that, and I thought maybe you needed to be really amongst it and amongst the energy and the electricity to really appreciate it, which we weren't. And you got to hold your hands up and just be like, listen, maybe it just wasn't for us. I wasn't about getting in pits and stuff like that at Download. I used to do that back in the day, and I mean, I got bad back. So, you know. The final day, I didn't know what to expect. We'd scheduled and stuff like that. However, one thing we did say is, and I said to myself, I ain't pushing myself to do anything. I'm so glad that the rest of the guys appreciated that and went along with that as well, because we had such a great time. We were so relaxed. I got stomach issues as well. Like, I'm popping Rennies left, right, and centre. I didn't pop one Rennie, man. And I was eating all sorts. I was fine. What I will say about the food, banging. One place that I will shout out is that Japanese fried chicken place who called me out and said I looked like Sergio Ramos, and then he proceeded to get a photo up on Google and show the whole of the kitchen. Didn't get a discount, but hey, I got a compliment. So, you know, it's all good. We saw the rest of Ginger. Not Adam. Adam had left. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Didn't really get to see the full thing, but performance-wise, deadly. We saw Poppy. That might have been the Saturday. Again, one of those bands for me, I can't get behind. I'll be completely honest. I think actually, no, Poppy was on the Saturday. Really appreciated the music, and you know, some of the songs were catchy, but there was one that sounded like Sabrina Carpenter, and I was like, oh, okay. Now I'm all for variety. I'm all for variety in music and stuff like that, but that one caught me a little bit off guard. So was Sugar. Again, another band that I'd heard of back in the day, never really got into. Dude he's an old dude, but he could knock me out about 7 times over. I mean, he was incredible, absolutely incredible. However, President were on. Now, I know immediately people are going to call me out for speaking about Sleep Token and the whole mask thing, and being like, oh, you're probably not into them because of that, and it puts you off, and the hype and the gimmicks and stuff like that. If it wasn't Charlie Simpson, I probably wouldn't be into them. If it didn't sound a little bit like Fight Star, I probably wouldn't be into them. However, it does, and I can get behind it. The marketing and stuff like that, if you've watched my last video, you'll understand that I'm not bothered about the marketing, but I do appreciate it. Being a promoter myself, and being an artist myself, I can appreciate good marketing. The crowd was huge. And this is in the Dogtooth stage, the smallest stage, man. It was absolutely rammed. And we got there about, I think 20 minutes before, and we weren't even in the tent, man. So when they finally did come on, and I've only seen how good it was purely from watching videos from YouTube and stuff like that. But when I tell you the energy, like we were all the way at the back, I could just see Charlie, and my Lord, when he screamed, I let out the most inappropriate sentence. People didn't know what to expect, but when they came on, crazy. Now call me biased if you want, because I'm a Charlie Simpson fan. I've always loved Busted, Fight Star, Charlie Simpson's solo stuff. And President I love as well. I even love Charlie and the Masked Singer, and I don't like that sort of thing. There's something about his voice that just gives me a cuddle. The set was absolutely awesome. The only one I'll say is maybe the little dancey one that they did. But when they played In the Name of the Father, everyone sang it. That was the one, and it set the precedent for like the rest of the day. Spirit Box came on, smashed it. Bullet for My Valentine came on. They played the Poison. They played the Poison from front to back. The intro to the outro. I lost my damn mind when I tell you how much of an influence they were in terms of songwriting back in the day, and just like that gateway into that sort of, I don't even know, metal, I guess. They were incredible. And Matt Tuck as well. Just what a gent. What an absolute gent. He was so grateful for being there. But he also said this. He was like, we've never headlined Download, and we will headline Download. And I truly believe that. There is no band that deserves that more. The way, I think it was about 7 o'clock. Korn may as well have been on. Like, it was rammed. It was absolutely rammed. In terms of my favourite band and performance of the festival, Bullet, 100%. After that, we went to see Kids in Glass Houses. I danced in. I don't dance. I danced in. And we pretty much were at the front. The set was authentic. It was raw. It had its imperfections, but then because of its imperfections, it just drew you in. He was constantly talking to the crowd. The crowd was talking back to him. He was paying attention. Like, it wasn't packed at all. But it's like they didn't even care. I thought they might have been a little bit like, oh, how man? Like, you know, like, we're Kids in Glass Houses. Like, we're huge. Nah, man. Like, it was just, again, a pleasure to watch. And some of the songs, like, some I forgot. Songs like Easy Tiger and Dance All Night. And then they played Saturday, and I lost my mind. And it was just the perfect end for me. From Bullet for My Valentine to Kids in Glass Houses. Oh, it was beautiful. I came away with a massive smile on my face. And then the big one, Korn. Again, band I wasn't really bothered about. I'm bothered about them now, though. My lord, was that an incredible way to end the festival. I mean, my friend Arron and Jasmine just stood up, just losing the minds to it. Losing the absolute minds. And it was, for me, that was the memory of that. Just seeing Arron and Jasmine just loving life and like embracing each other and just like, what a beautiful, beautiful end to an amazing, amazing experience. Korn were phenomenal. I think I've listened to Y'all Want Single about like 4 times now. Those of you that know from the Morning Coffee, I wasn't a Korn fan. I'm not going to say I'm a super fan, but I'm definitely a fan now. I love the music. And what a way to end the festival. The whole atmosphere was phenomenal. It really was. I'm going next year, 100%. I don't care what it takes. I am going next year. If you haven't been to Download, I absolutely implore you to go. We worked out, we saw about 36 bands. Now, I've only mentioned a few, but like just passing and stuff like that. 315 quid to have the potential to see that many bands. I think it's worth it. If you don't go and see any live music or any big bands, you don't spend any money on tickets or anything through the year, go to a festival and see them all, because it's just good spirit. It was the best experience of my life. There's massive rumours for next year. Thank you so much for watching if you have. And I don't know when this is coming out. It might come out like a week from Download. It might not. What an experience to have. Beautiful memories, beautiful people. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, give it a like, give it a comment, share it. See you later.